Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. My hotep. Namaste. Free the land, beloved. Come on in, come on in, come on in. My name is Vicki Dillard. And I'm a very proud contributor right here on FlyNubianQueenTV.com, the network for melanated people just like you. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our broadcast. We are so pleased that you have joined us today. As you come in, beloved, a little bit of housekeeping before we get in today's brief, very important brief, war briefing. As you come in, please come in giving us a thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Be sure to like. Be sure to share. You can text the word Queens to 31996 so that you're able to receive phone notifications when we go live from time to time. Somebody talk black to me. I'm looking forward to our brief war briefing today, family, as it's an important discussion. We're going to be discussing something that Minister Farrakhan said not too long ago, which seems to give us a bit of insight into recent incidents that I want us to consider. And I want this to be really an update from my show I did last week from the video that was removed. I want to give an update concerning that. The video that was removed, not by me. Somebody talk black to me. So for those of you that have been in my DMs or those that have been sending me messages, giving out misinformation, you know, we can just stop the presses right there. Talk black to me. Thumbs up, family. Now, I want to remind you all that tomorrow is when I do my weekly mastermind. And let me say this to you. If you're living your life right now, believing, saying to yourself that there's got to be more, I want you to know that you're absolutely right. There is more to life than just going to work, taking a shower for those that do, God today, working 40, 50, 60 hours a week, paying bills. There's more to life than the redundancy and the repetition of just getting in the car, driving 45 minutes away to a job that you hate and you can't stand. Constant and unnecessary frustration. If you're looking for something more, this is a welcome space and place for you, clubvicki.com. That's clubvicki.com, clubvicki.com. Join today for only $1 for the first 30 days. If you're someone that says, you know what, I'm not even all that religious, I don't even understand all of that stuff. If you're someone that doesn't even understand how it may connect to your natural life, this is for you. The reason I put an emphasis and put a premium on one's spiritual life, one's metaphysical existence, is because everything you see, this is not just spirituality, religion, philosophy. This has been proven in no limit of time amongst scientists, that everything you see, listen very clearly and very closely, everything you see came from everything you can't see. Somebody talk black to me. Shout out to my Instagram family. Instagram, get ready to come on over to FlyNubianQueenTV.com. Thank you, brother. Sincere love to God. He says, I love the chain pendant. Thank you. I'm stunting today from my dear sister, Nancy. Nancy is one of my day one supporters for real. Before we formally formed the Vicki Dillard fan page, before you guys did that, because I had a couple fan pages and both persons came to me to ask if they could start one. Miss Nancy was giving me gifts, sending money to me. And so she sent me this. Somebody talk black. So I'm stunting a little bit, as well as another recent gift that I got amongst many others. Someone sent me this crown and I don't know who did it. I put up a post on my Instagram page. Again, follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard with this crown. Ooh, look at this, y'all. I'm about to fix these braids. Look, I'm trying to mess up my hair. Look at this. Talk black to me. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Who sent me this? I put up a post. You can send me the information quietly. I won't put you out there if you don't want everybody to know. I've got a lot of anonymous supporters. Sometimes when people send stuff, they'll say to keep it secret. But I feel so blessed and I'm stunting a little bit. So big shout out to the supporters. And I want to thank you all so much. I love your gifts. This is the real rich. When you're living a life of purpose, God takes care of you in strange and unusual ways. Somebody talk black to me. And I receive your gifts and I bless your gifts 1,000-fold. Are y'all hearing me today? Are y'all hearing me today? Somebody said Dr. Boyce in the digital building. I didn't see him, but shout out. Oh, okay. Shout out to Dr. Boyce on my Instagram page. Shout out to Dr. Boyce. I appreciate him. One of the ones that first gave me a voice, a larger platform so that the world could hear my voice. Talk black to me. Some people are so interesting. I don't meddle in folks' business that I shouldn't meddle in. But when I honor someone that honors my voice, and then when I see you say to me to go out and go off on someone that elevated a very important Black voice in such a time as this, when other folks are scared to even say my name, they playing dumb like they don't feel and understand the effects of Vicki Dillard. Talk black to me, and you would say to me to ignore or to disrespect or to unnecessarily conflate. You see how knucklehead and how silly that looks? Talk black to me. So yes, I'm grateful for that, because I know that my message is important and deserves the world's attention. And when somebody believes in you enough to do that, you say thank you. You show appreciation to that. And you've got to ask yourself, you've got to evaluate circumstances and situations and say to yourself, wait a minute, what's worse here? God today. And anybody that threatens that platform, anybody that threatens the voice that we hear that we know is a real one and that's made a real difference in my life. Talking about the Vicki Show, you ought to have a problem with that. Those are my words. I speak for myself. Talk black to me. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Today is a very, very brief war briefing, and I'm ready to get into it. Now, let me start the show by saying this. The thoughts and opinions that are expressed by me are those of my own and not necessarily those of the platform or our sister networks. I also want to make it very, very clear, beloved, that I do not endorse violence in any way. Y'all repeat after me. Say, Vicki does not endorse violence in any way. I always say that, and I always remind other folks of that. Say, Vicki does not endorse violence in any way. Somebody say, on the Vicki Show, we follow the rules. Somebody say, on the Vicki Show, we follow the rules. But at the same time, I want to be able to convey my message. I want to be able to let you know what I'm thinking about something. And so also point to the time and what must be done in the time to my unique audience. Somebody talk black to me. So Vicki is not endorsing any violence. And so I want to be very clear about what I'm getting ready to briefly discuss with you. Are you ready? Instagram, I want you to get ready to come on over to flyingtobeingqueentv.com because I need to use this device. Now watch this. I've said this before when I heard someone else say it. One of our scholars, Dr. Wesley, and I think he was quoting someone else. But I think it's a powerful quote to keep in mind that God is in the nuances. I said, God is in the nuances. God is in the details. You know, we're in a white supremacist world. You know, we're feeling the very real effects of our open enemy. Somebody talk black to me. When you have to be careful, when you have to toe the line, when you have to walk on eggshells, to empower your own people. You know you're living in a white supremacist world when you empower your people to the point to where you tell them to rise up and to do for self and not to rely on white supremacist agencies and systems and ways of doing things. You know, somebody talk black to me. You're under the influence of white supremacy. You know that when your voice is being censored and silenced, not for telling somebody to go out there, beloved, and to violate the law and to be the aggressor, But when you're telling people the importance of making sure that you defend your God-given right, your God-given body, your God-given life and limb, and folk try to flip it and lie, talk black to me, and turn it into something else, you know you're under the influence of the oppressor. But nevertheless, I want you to understand that we can still make our point. I can still deliver the news. But I'm going to need my intelligent black people. I'm going to need those who are spiritually intelligent to be on the scene as well. Talk black to me. Now, I want to go briefly and give you an update on our brother, Otha Wallace, who goes by the name Ozone. For those of you that don't know, this is a brother who was alleged to have, the police is doing, and the police they released a very sketchy and incomplete and inconclusive short few second video clip where they're trying to spin a narrative. Now, what we know in general, what we know based on just a couple of recent cases with Breonna Taylor and our brother George Floyd, we know that members of law enforcement lie. Talk black to me. Till the video footage was released, until more information was released, we learned that at every stage they lied. We understood that the grand jury conductee, Daniel Cameron, the black shucker and jiver, the black Uncle Ruckus, God today, out of Kentucky, the black man whose photo I showed you, he showed us his wedding engagement pictures with his little Becky and stuff. He's sitting there with his melanin self. Remember, y'all, I showed you that picture of Daniel Cameron, and he had his hair flipped like this right here, looking back at him. His little Becky. Well, we found out that he lied to the jurors, allegedly, for this grand jury, this secret grand jury that he held to determine whether or not to bring charges against the officers who murdered our sister, Breonna Taylor. The jurors are supposed to keep that quiet, so the jurors went to court and filed so that they could tell their story. We found out that they were bamboozled. Talk black to me. They were run astray. They were, come on, talk black to me. They were made to be confused. They felt lied to. Are y'all hearing me today? And so if you all remember, before, was it Megan Thee Stallion went on SNL and called out Daniel Cameron? It was I who said, whose boy is this guy today? Wasn't no disrespect. We just knew that he wasn't speaking for himself, funny looking self. So I said, like live, didn't I? I said, whose boy is this? I tweeted it, and then I talked about it on the show. I said, whose boy is this? Daniel Cameron is his name. And so then the revelation just fell from heaven. Talk black to me. The revelation of a song I grew up singing, Oh Danny Boy. I said, God, today, I just asked prophetically, whose boy is this? And then bam, the song came to mind, Oh Danny Boy. Come on in. It's a brief war briefing today, beloved. So that's when we started to sing together from the Vicki show. Talk black to me. Oh, Danny boy. Y'all seen that song we grew up singing in school. Sing, Mississippi. The pipes are calling. God today. Is it calling? From glen to glen and down the mountainside. We say, oh, Danny boy. So whenever I tag Daniel Cameron out of Kentucky, I always make sure that I use musical notes to make sure that I'm getting the right person. Then we found out that the officer who went before a judge to get a warrant to justify them showing up at her home, we found out that he lied to get the warrant. Talk black to me while y'all laughing at me. Didn't we find out that the officer, the warrant that they used to justify even approaching Breonna Taylor's home, that was a lie too? Y'all know that different governmental agencies and entities always back each other. Well, the feds, the postal inspector, that is, the postal inspector, it comes under the federal jurisdiction. Postal inspector came out and said the devil is a lie. We didn't, because the police said in Kentucky, they said, well, they said that the postal service told us that funny packages was coming to her house. Farr said, no, we didn't tell you that. They lied to the judge. Then we know that there is absolutely no reliable evidence to believe that they made themselves known to Kenneth Walker, who was Breonna Taylor's man at the time. Kenneth Walker, a law-abiding, gun-carrying United States citizen. I gotta say that again. A law-abiding, gun-carrying United States citizen. He fired a warning shot because it sounded like somebody was trying to break into his home because they didn't identify himself. And to prove that he did not know it was the police, we found out later what happened. There are records that show, and we listened to the audio, that he called the police on the police. Talk black to me. Then we found out that the police was trying to negotiate with him, telling him it was just a misunderstanding. And then when they realized they was going to be in big trouble, they flipped the script, turned around, tried to charge him, and they threw him in jail to make it look like he initiated the thing. Talk black to me, somebody. Right now, family, apparently we're being shadow banned. Thumbs up, share, share, share. When you share this broadcast and when you thumbs up and engage, you help us to overcome the limitations that some of the platforms have us on. When we say shadow ban, that means it's difficult for other folks to see us. You all know that we, the Vicki Show, have set the precedent that other folks are following as it relates to commentary. So it's interesting that our show is being targeted more than others. So we ask that you share, share, share right now on the count of 3, that you thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Share, 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 share. All right, Instagram. Come on over Instagram to flynubianqueentv.com. You can access us there, or you can come to Fly Nubian Queen on YouTube to access us there, because I need to use this device. Now, I'm bringing up those different topics as well as George Floyd, because we knew that the cops initially lied about what happened to George Floyd, right? Until the video came out. So we know that those who wear the uniform, those who are in the judiciary, those who work and are operating under what's known as under color of law. That means that they're using the courts, the badge, and their public positions to do damage to us. America, I'm not going back to Dr. King, the Black Panther Party, and the Nation of Islam, and all of that with civil rights movement. I'm not doing it. I'm keeping it modern so that you guys can see that we are in a moment right now where our open enemy is showing their tail. We have not overcome. I said we have not overcome. Thank you, beloved, for your kind words and compliments. Listen. So, why am I bringing that up? You need to keep that in mind when it comes down to coverage of our brother Othel Wallace, who goes by Ozone. What have I taught you before? We believe in Black society that this is not the time. I tweeted this and I put this on my other social media. This is not the time to be listening to white supremacist outlets or those that operate in the spirit of Rachel Dolezal. Talk black to me. This is the home of the hand claps and the gavel raps. Somebody messaged me, a few messages actually. Some of you reached out to me. Comment section. I've had to block more white supremacist trolls in the last few days than I can count. But people had the nerve to comment to me, send me DMs. And listen what some people asked me. Somebody said, Vicki, why are you discussing this brother? Somebody said, Vicki, why are you discussing this? And for those of you who don't know who Rachel Dolezal is, Rachel Dolezal is a whole white woman. Somebody said whole white woman, all together, through and through and through. Around that region, Poland, England, Britain, all that, over there, somewhere. But she got a tan. And she slapped some braids in her hair and some curl activator from time to time. No exaggeration. And worked for a Black organization, claiming that she was a Black woman. That's right, transracial. She's a transracial. There are those that move in that Rachel Dolezal energy that y'all coming to me about, asking me, God, today, I'm an original woman. I'm all the way deep from the South. You're coming to me. I said you're coming to me. And you're asking me, who am I to discuss this? And am I doing this for clout? So what I did, I've got a couple of globes in my home and studio. And I just needed to do a record check. Just got to get some things clear real fast, real quick, real fast, real quick. Whose planet is this? Just for the record, I just got to make sure I'm in the right planet. Just for the record, whose planet is this? Mississippi Southern Belle, thank you. I said, whose planet is this? And as the original woman, if anybody is supposed to be talking about this, it's me. Don't come to me talking about what the white supremacist media is. Did you guys say that when the white supremacist media covered this? Did you ask them who are they to discuss this? Don't come to me talking about what whole white women and the Rachel Dolezals of our world is saying. You better go take your funny looking self down somewhere. This is my planet. And as far as the clout goes, my authority, I'm a celebrity in the unseen realms. So when I discuss something, I legitimize it, baby. Talk black to me. You got stuff twisted and confused and stuff and got me messing up my curly braids and stuff. I'm all the way. This is my planet. This is my assignment. This is what I'm meant to talk about. There for me is no topic that's off subject because I bring wisdom and balance and power. Who said what? Somebody said, what's the power of shh? I know that video got removed, but that's what I said on the video. I said, shh. Instagram, FlyLivyandQueenTV.com. Let me post this. While I'm posting this, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, family. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, share, share, share. I wish a biscuit would. I wish a biscuit would. Come talking to me about what a Rachel Dolezal. If you don't get your funny looking self, the white media don't run nothing. I said the white media don't run nothing over these parts. Talk black to me. Born for this. It's my planet, slowness. Because you confused and don't know the difference between these different entities that's rolling about on our planet. You don't know the difference between a UFO and a URO. or UTO or white supremacists or black or white people's black people, because you don't know the difference. I don't dwell in confusion. Talk black to me. I just said something right there for today's brief war briefing. Thumbs up, family. Thumbs up, share. Now, what did I say a few minutes ago? We here at the Vicki Show, we believe in following the rules. So I would never get and stir up my people and activate my people to be reckless or to go out breaking the law and to do stupid stuff. Are y'all hearing me today? Okay. Not rolling Rachel's, okay? It's about to be what it is. We're about to put some wheels on this mug. God, today, that might be, y'all might be on to something. I just saw somebody put something about rolling Rachel's. What is it, an unidentified rolling Rachel or URR? Talk black to me. People got stuff confused. Want to ask me about what's going on in my planet. This black business. Hurry up, Vicki, and give your brief war briefing and get on up out of here. Because that's what I'm going to do. Share, family. Thumbs up, share. Thumbs up, share. Now let me read this disclaimer. And then I want you to listen to something here real quick. I'm going to connect some dots. Are y'all hearing me? Now I'm going to cut a little bit of the audio off just because I'm being extra careful, crossing every T, dotting every I. And because sometimes my show is re-aired on other platforms, there are different policies and standards of procedures on those as well. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-provocational or personal use tips to balance in favor of fair use. We don't endorse violence. We endorse intelligence. Is that right, black family? Watch this. I want to give you the latest on our brother. Now, the reason why I mentioned to you earlier that God is in the details, God is in the nuance, is because it was I that initially, months back, do you all remember when some of the black lawmakers were being threatened by the white supremacists when the Rona pandemic started? And so black lawmakers were being threatened by white militia groups that were going to the capitals, and they were coming there intimidating them with their AK-47s. Somebody say it was white people that did that. The same type and brand and ilk of white people that stormed the United States Capitol, that is a symbol around the world, and the world saw how easily America could be breached, not from without, but from within. Talk black to me. The same kind of white people are the same ones, beloved, that was threatening black lawmakers in their respective states at their particular legislative body locations. Are y'all hearing me? So it was black men and black legally armed, black law-abiding citizens who took it upon themselves to protect black lawmakers that were being threatened. Some of you may not be my day one. Some of you might be newer. So you may want to go check that out. That was me that covered that and that explained how that is such a noble thing that black folks were doing security. Law-abiding black people, properly licensed black people were actually legally protecting black lawmakers because racist white people who have a history of murdering black people were threatening black lawmakers. Did you catch that? So to that end, we found that there were other, watch this, believed to be other law-abiding groups, black groups that were emerging, that were making it clear that they were going to legally and lawfully defend themselves. It was me, Vicki Dillard, that congratulated those groups. when I saw with one of the particular groups that there was some white supremacist activity, I became concerned about how this particular organization was moving. So I warned some of you, and many of you got so upset with me. Some of you stopped following me. Some of you stopped supporting me. Some of you became very angry. I was not attacking one particular person or the organization in its entirety. I was simply given a warning because I was concerned about how our open enemy was going to misuse the good intentions of these people, some of these people, because of how some of them were being accepting of white supremacist entities. Talk black to me. In other words, now the white media is demonizing this organization, but know that when the white supremacist is criticizing something or someone, their motives for which they're doing it is different from the motives in which I'm doing it. That's why I said God is in the details. Do you overstand? Do you understand? Do you understand? It got so heated that some of them within the group tried to call themselves intimidating me. But how many of you all know when you have a spiritual army like I do, it's impossible to truly make me fear. Talk black to me, somebody. Thumbs up, share, share, share. Keep that in mind as I'm reading you the update concerning our brother Othel Wallace. The latest, and I'm reading now from WESH2, Othel Wallace waives formal extradition process, expediting his return to Florida. The man accused of shooting Daytona Beach police officer Jason Rayner, by the way, Jason Rayner, who is alive and well. He's doing all right. He waived his formal extradition process, the man accused of shooting him. Othel Wallace waived the process in an Atlanta area court on Tuesday, meaning, that's today, family, meaning his return to Florida will be expedited. Authorities say Othel Wallace was found in a treehouse on the property associated with an organization called NFAC. I'm going to leave that alone. That's why I said God is in the details. The criticism that some of us had was not about every person associated with it. It was about a handful of certain folk that were showing suspect activity that we feared might put the whole group at risk, and their interconnection to white supremacist organizations, and us trying to warn you how your open enemy might misuse you all. Are y'all seeing the connection? Watch this. This black Daytona Beach police chief, Jakari Young, says something very interesting, y'all, and I want you to listen to it. I won't show all the video right now for obvious reasons. I want you to listen to a little bit of the audio while I'm pulling that up, family. Thumbs up, share, share, share. Today's very brief war briefing. Listen to some of the live hearing that took place concerning our brother Othel Wallace, known as Ozone Wallace. You see, they're trying to shadow ban us, beloved. So thumbs up, share, share, share.
Do you understand that this is law enforcement's version of the events? It is no more and no less than that, and saying yes to that is not an admission. If you have a question about a charge because you don't understand what it means, that is a question that you can pose, certainly. And then the other questions that you will hear me ask are, how long have you lived in this area, by which I mean Metro Atlanta, generally speaking, whatever you would term that to be, and what are you doing for work? And mostly I'm interested in whether you've been working full-time or part-time, understanding that for many of you, those answers have changed over the course of the pandemic. And if they have changed and you want to tell me what things were like before and what you're dealing with now, that's perfectly fine. That's a good answer that gives me an idea of what you hope to get back to when things return to normal, and also the challenges that you're facing right now.
So what you're hearing now are some formalities by the judge. Now, what I just showed you was not video. I showed you a picture. Family, I'm just being extra careful and extra respectful on, again, some of these platforms. Are you all hearing me? I want to move this forward now to something to when you hear our brother start to speak.
The first warrant that I have, I believe, is on our iPhone today, and it is oath of Wallace. Mr. Wallace, I have a somewhat lengthy speech to read to you that we read in all fugitive cases. I will tell you that you are here for 21W009833. You are charged with fugitive from justice in that you are allegedly wanted for the charge of attempted murder of a law enforcement officer in the state of Florida, and that the state of Florida has advised that that warrant is valid and that they are.
Let's stop right there. Disclaimer again, we do not endorse violence. Is that right? But what I want you to remember that in America, let's talk law. Somebody say in America. Somebody say let's follow the law. Somebody say let's follow the law. Put this in the chat. There is a such thing as presumption of innocence. There is a clause that's known and a principle that's known as the presumption of innocence. This is legality we're talking about here. This is legal stuff. And the presumption of innocence, beloved, is a legal principle that every person accused of a crime is considered innocent until proven guilty. God, today, somebody say, Vicki, don't scream. Vicki is giving you the law here. I said, I'm giving you law. I'm not speaking just specifically on all of the details of our brother's case because we're not familiar with all such details, which is why we believed in the power of prayer. And we remind ourselves that every area of American government, every agency in America lies and covers up those who work under cover of law to murder us, to take us out and to commit anti-Black genocide. You all know I've done numerous shows giving you FBI statistics and case studies that showed that law enforcement and the military has been deeply infiltrated with white supremacist organizations. We know that I've done shows with receipts where America and the FBI says that they are trying to get a hold on white supremacist militia organizations that are infiltrating the military and the police organizations and agencies so that they can legally murder Black people undercover. In other words, under color of law, meaning they're going to use the badge and they're using the uniform and public trust to commit crimes. That's what I mean when we say under color of law. When you find that judges, those that are in the judiciary, when they're operating, when a judge operates, and I've said this many times before, outside of their official capacity, they're operating at that moment in their personal capacity, which means they're not doing the business of the public trust. Keep those things in mind. The presumption of innocence is a legal principle that every person accused of any crime is considered innocent until proven guilty. Under the presumption of innocence, the legal burden of proof, listen, is thus on the prosecution, which must present compelling evidence to the trier of fact. And a trier of fact is either a judge or a jury in America. So we're supposed to treat and presume that our brother Otho Wallace is innocent until proven guilty. Talk Black to me. And we separate him and this particular action and the actions of the white supremacist police officers, suspected white supremacist police officers in this instance, we separate that from the organization that they're trying to connect him to, and any problems that may have been associated with that. I'm not conflating those things. Back to the audio.
Willing to extradite you. With respect to today's calendar, this hearing is being conducted pursuant to OCGA Title 17, Chapter 13. You've heard that it is alleged that you were charged with this crime in the state of Florida, and you have a choice of whether to contest extradition.
Do you hear? Even the judge said it is alleged. That's what you need to be saying, Black family. It is alleged.
Waive extradition to be returned to Florida without going through that formal process. If you decide to contest
Let me fast
extradition,
forward.
the court can hold you in the county jail for an initial. Okay, and is that what you want to do?
So that I could proceed and go back to the
Public defender.
I believe I just signed a paper of waiver of extradition.
Okay, and is that what you want to do?
So that I could proceed and go back to the state of Florida.
All right. Yes, that would expedite your return to Florida because you would not have to go through that process. And that was your choice today, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And you said you've already signed, Mr. Wallace?
Yes, that's it. Yes.
All right. Thank you very much.
So Florida, I need to talk to Black jurors. I need to talk to potential Black jurors. I need to talk to potential Black jurors. Y'all know I do corporate training. I do Karen training. I do Dunkin' Donuts training. I do Walmart training. I teach you practical things to do when you're surrounded by white supremacists. Now, let me do a quick training for those of you prospective and would-be Black jurors. You do make your decisions based on facts that are presented. But this Black fact of life that Black folk cannot escape, and I want the word to get out in Florida because it's still kind of a hot summer and stuff. It's still a bit of a hot, it's a bit warm out still for the summertime. It's officially summer. Somebody say summer solstice. Where my divine feminine sisters at? We understand the moon and the sun phases and stuff. Talk Black to me. So me being someone that's very familiar with civil proceedings and also with the criminal proceeding, and specifically how they pimp jurors. All it takes, somebody just put the number 1 in the chat. Just put 1 1. Just put the number 1 time in the chat. How many of you all know it only takes one juror to do the right thing? We telling the juror to follow the law. Somebody say, tell the trier of fact that might be a juror in his case. Tell that trier of fact juror, do the right thing. Tell that trier of fact to stand their ground in the court of law as a juror. Why do we say that? Because we know some of you jurors, if it's only one of you, you can make the whole thing become a hung jury legally, lawfully. Some of you end up agreeing with the majority when you still have suspicions, or when you know that some of the evidence and testimony that you received was suspect. Some of you are so intimidated by white supremacist jurors and colleagues that even though on the inside something is telling you not to do this to please the other 11 white people, you acquiesce, you buckle, and you go along with the majority. So I want to let you jurors know there's no such thing as a grown-up Black person that suffers from peer pressure on a jury. It only takes one. While you're on the jury, don't do the wrong thing because you're intimidated by a white person. I'm talking to Florida now. We're telling you Black Floridians to follow the law. This is real activism. Get the word out on the street to any prospective jurors not to succumb to white supremacist intimidation in the jury. Now, sometimes during some of the jury deliberations, some of your fellow jurors want to kind of know what you're thinking. I want to give you a word of wisdom. God, today. You must know how not to show your hand too soon. You have to know how to play it off. You have to know sometimes that for the first few hours and the first few days of the trial, once the case is put in your hands to make the decision, you got to know for the first little bit, you got to fake the funk a little bit. Don't lie. But you can be there. They can hand you a whole bunch of paper. Let's just say this notebook is the paper. All the papers, right? And they say, well, what you think? You can look at the papers and do this. Whew, it's not looking good. Talk black to me. For the first few days before it's time to make the official decision, you can just look at all the documents. You can play it off and say, for oath of Wallace, say, ooh, it's not looking good for the brother, oath of Wallace. Not looking good for Ozone. Do your lips like that. When you're dealing with these white jurors, your white fellow jurors, you say, hey, bud, I like those cowboy boots there, buddy. And those Wranglers, I ain't seen no Wranglers in a long time. And that white juror that looked like he from Texas that's really living in Florida, he gonna be back there drinking his little tea, trying to see what you thinking. And even though the jurors are not supposed to discuss the case, even with their family, you know that cowboy Floridian juror is gonna go home to tell his wife. And they looking for something to snitch on you with the judge and their neighbors. So you got to play it off. Don't show your hand until it's official. You got to compliment his Wranglers. You got to compliment his Wranglers. You got to tell him his cowboy boots are on point. You got to tell him you've been looking for some. And then when he tries to pin you down to say where you at with this oath of Wallace stuff, you got to say, man, I got to make my decision soon, but it's not looking too good for Othel. You got to play it off. You got to play it off because you don't know what white jurors are sitting there that was planted intentionally by the prosecution or hell by the judge themselves or by any other white supremacist person that might be trying to threaten your life later on. I got to educate you about how this kind of stuff works. This to keep you clean. Don't show your hand for the first few hours and for the first few days. Compliment the Wranglers. Compliment the cowboy boots. Tell them you was looking for a pair. And when that runs out, when your compliments stop working and they want you to tell them where you stand, you don't even have to say, no, I'm going to go with Othel. You just simply say, it's not looking good. I still got to pray on this, but this is looking good for Othel. This is not looking good for Othel. I respect the law. Turn it. You got to say, I got a respect for the police. I got law enforcement in my family. It don't matter if it's your third uncle on your mama's side. It's still family. It doesn't matter if it's your black neighbor that got an uncle that's a sheriff. Black people, we call all of each other family. We family. You don't need to get specific, slowness. Play it off. But I'm going to need the activist jurors. I'm going to need the activists in Florida. Get to work now. Start to set the narrative now. Tell the jurors to follow the law. Vicki's telling all the jurors got to follow the law. Vicki's telling you to follow the law, jurors. Prospective black jurors. But I'm telling you, don't you dare succumb to the peer pressure of white jurors. Play it off. If there's a Karen back there, and y'all know how women are, the energy of women is different from a man. You could probably throw off Billy Bob by complimenting his Wranglers and boots. With Karen, you got to ask her, does she have kids and do they play soccer? You got to ask Karen, does she have children? Do they play soccer? If they're in basketball and football, you know darn well that if there's anybody black on their team, dominates them, pretend like her kids, Chad, congratulate, ask her if they won any championships. Stop. Ask her, does she find it difficult to balance the life of a stay-at-home mom if she's a stay-at-home mom? She gonna feel connected. Try to pick up on where she's at. And then you gotta say to her, if she try to get information from you, you gotta say to Karen, when she asks, don't run your mouth just to be running it. If she try to find out what you're thinking and all the compliments and the soccer talk don't work, the stay-at-home mom talk don't work, you got to turn around and say, Karen, this is really, I'm going to be honest with you, Karen. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't think I would ever say this, to be honest with you, Karen. Between me and you. In fact, do they have a Starbucks? Let's go get some coffee. Just me and you when we take the next break. And then I will tell you during coffee, when we go for coffee, for the break. The next break, I'll tell you for the break at the coffee, at the Starbucks. When you go to Starbucks, get her favorite coffee and then get some croissants. Get you some croissants. And then you say, I never thought I would say this. Seriously, say, look, Karen, I know we can't go into detail about this. We're going to follow the rules. I'm a juror. I follow all the rules of the court. And without me violating any of the rules that the judge gave us, we are bound by it. So I'm not going to go there. But I'm finding this to be very hard because I just never thought that I would. I just never thought, oh God, where's my latte? Give me a second. I just never thought that. I'll say this because we're not supposed to discuss the case. I've got law enforcement in my family and I do not condone any semblance of disrespect for law enforcement. And that's all I'm gonna say right now. Can you hand me a napkin there for so I can eat this croissant? That's all I'm gonna say. I can't say anything else. Black family, you can't be stupid. And then when it gets to the moment where all the way, and it's official, and y'all gotta that's when you go do the dundada. Bam! Based on the evidence, following the rules and the laws. Follow the rules and the laws. But somebody say no peer pressure, no white peer pressure. Last minute, don't. Before it's official, shut up, play it off, compliment Wranglers, compliment cowboy boots, soccer talk. Can I confide in you? Croissants and Starbucks. That's all you know is Starbucks and Wranglers. All the way up to the moment. Crazy. It's too late. And then you remind yourself while you sitting there scared, acting like you scared of white people, you remind yourself that there's millions of other black folks outside that little box, that little jury box deliberations. And just know we're going to have your back and celebrate you by doing the right thing. Understanding, following the law, following the rules, looking at all the evidence. But what we know for sure, what the video did show us clearly, The video didn't show us all the details with our brother Ozone. But what the video did show was that lily white officer had no business being there in the first place. What we know about the police officer, there was no probable or justifiable cause for him to have been on the scene. I'm going to say this and I'm almost done. Thumbs up, share, share, share. Join my weekly mastermind at clubvicky.com, clubvicky.com, clubvicky.com. Follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard. Follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. They did a press conference. They did a press conference. Funny looking black man. They threw the black man out there with the quickness. The black man named Jason was the one they allegedly said was shot. Jakari Young. You can't get blacker than Jakari. Chief Jakari Young. They threw Jakari's funny looking self out there with the quickness, right? To do this press conference once they caught our brother, right? Watch this, watch this, watch this. Brief war briefing today. Brief war briefing. Vicki followed the rules. We don't endorse violence on the Vicki Show. Talk back to me. We follow all the rules and regulations, policies and procedures and stuff. We respect these platforms we own. Watch this, watch this, watch this. Watch this. Is this it? Is this it? Okay, watch this. Funny looking cell. During this press conference, thumbs up, family. Share, share, share. During this press conference, right? Look at this. During this press conference. Is this it? Okay, I think this might be it. Give me a second, family, to pull this up. I'm a one-woman show. I had it ready for you, but I don't see it lined up here. Shout out to the grassroots black media. Shout out to BGR, Black Grassroots, for staying on this. Where is the thing? The devil is a lie. Oh, this is it. I'm sorry. Is it? Okay, watch this. Let's see. Thumbs up, family. I think this might be it. Jakari, in fact, the black police chief that they was gleeful to throw out there in front of the public before us gave a statement when one of the reporters asked about something our brother may or may not have said during the arrest, right? People play too much.
Officer in the head will return to Florida to face charges. Otho Wallace was captured right outside.
That's not the one that I wanted you to hear, family. That's not the one that I wanted you to hear. Okay, I think this might be it.
So good morning. My name is Jakari Young, Chief of Police, Daytona Beach Police Department. At approximately 2:30 this morning, a search warrant was executed on a property that was located just outside of Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm thrilled to announce that this search warrant has resulted in the arrest of Otha Wallace. Involved in this search warrant was the United States Marshal Service, the Federal Bureau of Investigations, the Homeland Security Investigations, the Georgia State Patrol, who are the ones that executed this search warrant, and the DeKalb County Police Department. The property was located in the woods, in a wooded area with two structures on it, along with a trailer and a treehouse. The rest of the 3 acres is covered in woods. The property is affiliated with an organization called they call themselves the Not Effing Around Coalition, or just simply known as the NFA.
Okay, we're getting ready to skip that. I'm almost done with today's war briefing. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Watch this. Family, listen to one of the questions he was asked. Now, before I do that, I showed you the picture of the press conference, right? You're the only token little Negro that's a part of this whole group, practically. There's a dude that's in the back that's kind of hard to tell, but these are mostly Mzungus. Look at this. Look at this. These are mostly Mzungus. Talk black to me. Now watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Did nobody?
A ways to go, but basically from his condition right now, they feel comfortable moving forward with more testing because they determined that he's now strong enough to endure more testing. So as of right now, his outlook is it is improving. It's a positive one, but we're just going to continue to pray that he continues to heal. And I have the permission of his mother and his sister to let everybody know that, you know, they greatly appreciate the support that they've received, and they request that we just continue to keep Officer Rayner in our prayers. And again, like I stated, the majority of these folks, to include myself, haven't received much sleep, so I'm not going to go much further into this.
Family, this press conference was just under 10 minutes. This black man sat up there and talk about how none of them got no sleep so many times. Don't nobody want to hear that fact that you didn't get no sleep for this one time ever in your life. Don't nobody want to hear that. Do your jobs. We're paying you. Talk black to me. So they want us to feel sorry for them, but I want y'all to listen to this.
Again, most importantly, he is in custody, and at some point he will be making his way back to Daytona Beach. So with that in mind, I will take a few questions because, like I said, these folks haven't slept much, so I'm sure they're ready to finally decompress. I think everybody right now is just experiencing the fatigue that sets in after a huge adrenaline dump, because that's what it's been for the past 56 hours. Did Wallace say anything when he was arrested? Yes.
Watch this. The reporter asked, did Wallace say anything when he was arrested, right? Now, the police done already called him a coward, right? They've already tried to pull up alleged things in his past in order to try to paint this negative narrative. But that's the reason why the black media needs to come, not because we're supporting everything this man may or may not have ever done, but because we understand the macro white supremacist system that we're involved in. And we want to give him the presumption of innocence because it's the law. And we want to operate in black society based on the principle of shh.
He actually did make a statement. What he said was, you guys know who I am. You know what I'm capable of, and it could have been a lot worse. That was his statement.
We don't know that to be true, family. We don't know that to be true. We don't know that to be true. Presumption of innocence. Why is this important? They want you to focus on what they're saying he allegedly said after the fact. When the biggest thing that anybody should be talking about now is the fact that there was absolutely no legal justification for him to have been there in the first place. Breonna Taylor was murdered in part because white race soldiers lied to a judge to illegally trespass on her property and to unload. Family, do not let the white media or the Rachel Dolezals of the world, Dolezals. Don't let the white media or the Rachel Dolezals of the world have you focus on anything that our brother may or may not have said after the fact. You don't get to very likely what we see based on so far, you don't get to violate the law, Mr. Policeman. Use the badge under color of law to illegally approach a citizen and then want us to focus on anything that happened after that. Because when you're operating under color of law and outside of your official capacity, that means that you're actually operating as a regular old, smuggler old citizen. Legally, we're speaking. Now, I may have gotten some of the language not exact and correct, but the principle of what I'm trying to say, particularly with an officer of the court, is that when you are operating outside of your official capacity, you are operating in your personal capacity. Family, for the umpteenth time, I'm not here endorsing violence. We are not endorsing anyone to unload on black police officers, on the police. You all know, like I know, black people are the most empathetic and sympathetic people on the planet. But let me tell you something. If the FBI and the US government is saying that the police, I got lipstick on my teeth. I'm a girl, I gotta be cute all the way. Talk black to me. There we go. If the US government is saying that white supremacist organizations are infiltrating law enforcement and the military, if in the case of like our brother George Floyd, we see that Derek Chauvin is in prison now because he murdered our brother. I'm asking America, what are you asking black people to do who abide by the law? And when you kill many of our people, we're finding out that their hands were actually up and they were complying with the law. In Breonna Taylor's case, she was at home sleeping. In another one of our sisters' cases, she was at home with a young child family member and you all shot her through the window. Botham Jean was eating ice cream in his house. And the white supremacist Amber Geiger burst in and murdered him. What must be done? America, Joe Biden, Kamala, Republicans, Democrat, when folks are sitting in their homes eating ice cream, they're babysitting family members or having a weekend fun day with them. They're sleeping. And you break in. And in each of those cases that I just mentioned, you murder them. You kill them. Finally, why did you bring up Minister Farrakhan? You all know that the media has lied on Minister Farrakhan. You know that the media fails to remind you that the nation doesn't go around with a bunch of weapons. They teach folk not to be the aggressor. They have absolutely no history of radicalizing anybody to take up arms or to violate the law or bring violence against the United States of America. Is that right? But my beautiful brother, Warren Muhammad, shout out to him, put out a post recently. And I'm unfortunately going to be able to just only play 2 or 3 seconds of it, but I was actually live at this event. And this statement that I was reminded that the minister said, I told you all before, I had the distinct honor last year. Me and my mother, they extended the invitation, allowed my mother to come with me. She's my medical caretaker, main medical caretaker. And I was invited by the office of the minister to attend an event at his beautiful property in the garden in Michigan. I very rarely travel, but obviously this was an absolutely amazing and important event. So I showed up. It was COVID, so we were socially distanced and I was quite a ways away, but I was on the grounds. I was so honored. And the minister said something, among other things, about the illegality, the violent and illegal behaviors of the police.
How do they lie so easily?
Yes, sir.
If you could read the record, the police records of what they say in their reports that they write, they have concocted lies to justify their murder of our brothers and sisters. Why are the police quitting now? You should all quit. Because if your presence there thinks that you're going to come into the Black community and do what you've been doing, you better quit.
Did y'all hear that?
The jump out boys better stay in the white community. Don't come where we live and jump out. Because you may never.
I'm going to stop right there because, we don't want. We don't want. Listen again to the first few seconds of it, beloved.
How do they lie so easily?
Yes, sir.
If you could read the record, the police records of what they say in their reports that they write, they have concocted lies to justify their murder of our brothers and sisters. Why are the police quitting now? You should all quit. Because if your presence there thinks that you're going to come into the Black community and do what you've been doing, you better quit. The jump out boys better stay in the white community. Don't come where we live and jump out. Because you may never get.
He gives them an interesting warning. So the jump out boys, those that illegal infiltrate our community under color of law, violating the law. There's so much said about Black men that don't do this, don't do that. They're weak, they're powerless, they're this, they're that. Let me tell you something. America, you may not continue. It's been 466 years killing and murdering us without justice. It's a new day. It's a new time. We've been marching. We've been following the law. We've been lifting our hands. We've been saying we forgive you. We've been saying we still believe in America. We've still been voting. We still operate in civil disobedient type behaviors. We don't commit violence against our open enemies. America, you got some splaining to do. America, you're not going to continue to be able to sneak up and do what you've been doing. Vicki does not promote violence. I'm not sending anybody out to do anything reckless. I'm just reporting some facts. And I'm asking for your kind consideration to back down, to back up, and to do justice. This is a show about justice and a word to Black jurors to follow the law. That's it for today's briefing. I gotta go. We follow the rules on the Vicki Show. All things pertaining to the rules on the different platforms that we're on in the Copyright Act of 1976, amongst other things. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard. Share this broadcast out. Thank you all so much for tuning in for today's briefing. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. I will be missing a day this week because I have a long in-home appointment. But I got something else that's going on at the same time. So stay tuned for that. But tomorrow I'll do a brief show, and I hope to see you again. I love you, Black family. You're such a special people. We're in our finest hour. I bow to you. You are my bliss.